Have you ever stood in that quiet moment after they've walked away, wondering if you were ever enough? It's haunting, isn't it? The silence they leave behind, the unanswered questions, the slow unraveling of your confidence. You replay everything, what you said, what you didn't say, what you should have done differently, and somewhere in that emotional wreckage, you begin to believe the lie that you weren't worth staying for. But here's the truth. Rejection doesn't mean you were unworthy. It means they couldn't see your worth clearly. You did what most people do after heartbreak. You waited. You held space for them in your mind. You kept the door open just in case. You held on to hope, because letting go felt like giving up on something beautiful. But slowly, painfully, you stopped waiting. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started choosing yourself. And just when the silence became your peace, they return. A message, a random like, a sudden, "I've been thinking about you." The same person who left you questioning your value now wants access again. And naturally you ask yourself, why now? This pattern isn't accidental. It's rooted in human nature, in the psychology of absence, in the fear of truly losing someone who once made them feel seen. Because when you stop waiting, something powerful happens. You shift your energy from longing to living. You're no longer focused on what's missing. You're focused on what's growing. And without even trying, you become magnetic. Not to games, not to manipulation, but to truth, to clarity, to power. In this video, we're going to break down 6 specific reasons why they always come back when you finally stop waiting. Not based on fantasy, but on psychology, emotional patterns, and unspoken truths. If you've ever held on to someone longer than you should have, this video is for you. It's time to understand their behavior and your strength. Let's begin. Number 1. Your emotional energy is no longer theirs to control. When someone walks away from you, especially when they know you still care, there's a part of them that expects you to wait. Maybe not physically, but emotionally. They count on you staying stuck, checking their socials, replaying old memories, hoping, longing, wondering. And for a while, you do, because that's what love does to a heart that hasn't healed yet. You gave them your time, your thoughts, your silent loyalty, even in their absence. They may not have reached out, but deep down, they believed they still had access to your energy. And in many ways, they did. But then, something changes. Slowly, you stop reaching. You stop expecting. The energy you once poured into them, daydreams, memories, imaginary conversations, begins to flow back into yourself. You stop feeding the fantasy and start feeding your reality. That moment is more powerful than any goodbye. You see, what they once felt, whether they admit it or not, was your invisible attachment. Even in silence, they could sense it. That's the strange truth of emotional bonds. They don't require contact to be felt. But when that cord is cut, they feel it like a sudden loss of gravity. Something shifts. And now, instead of being the one pursued, they become the one questioning. It's disorienting for them, because now your emotional energy, the thing they took for granted, is no longer under their control. They can't predict your thoughts. They can't rely on your loyalty. You've stopped orbiting them. You're no longer silently waiting for closure or contact or crumbs. You've stepped out of their emotional shadow, and that terrifies them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what you've done. You've reclaimed your mind, and with it, your emotional power. They return not just because they miss you, but because they feel the withdrawal of something they never truly appreciated while they had it. Your love, your presence, your quiet loyalty, it created a comfort they now crave again. But now it's out of reach. This isn't revenge. This is reality. When you stop waiting, you stop giving. And when you stop giving, they're left with nothing but their own echo. So, if you've ever felt guilty for pulling your energy back, don't. It's not selfish. It's survival. It's strength. It's sovereignty. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My energy is sacred. It belongs to me. Say it. Believe it. Because the moment you stop giving your power away is the moment they finally start to feel the loss. Number 2. Your silence forces them to hear themselves. There is something haunting about silence, especially when it comes from someone who used to care. When you stop speaking, stop reacting, stop chasing, they are no longer distracted by your energy. All they're left with is the sound of their own thoughts. And that's what scares them the most. You see, while you were loving them out loud, they were often avoiding their own reflection. They could run from accountability, escape into attention, and numb themselves with distractions because your presence acted like a buffer. But when you go quiet, that buffer disappears. Now, there's no voice telling them they're missed, no reassurance, no emotional safety net, just silence. And in that silence, the truth echoes louder than ever. Their choices, their ego, their cruelty, their avoidance. Everything they tried to silence within themselves comes roaring back when yours is gone. At first, they may act like they don't care, like your silence means nothing, but that's a mask, because internally, they're spiraling. Why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you begging for closure? And the most disturbing thought begins to creep in. Did you finally see their true colors? Did you finally realize your worth? Silence becomes a mirror they can't run from. It exposes everything they wanted to hide, even from themselves. Seneca once said, "A guilty person sometimes has the luck to escape detection, but never to feel safe." That's exactly what happens when you detach. They are no longer protected by your patience. Your silence removes the shield and exposes the consequences. They start to hear all the things you stopped saying, the respect you deserved, the love you gave, the things they never acknowledged. And now, it's too late to unhear it. Don't underestimate the psychological power of withdrawal. When your presence is consistent, people get comfortable. When your silence replaces your support, they start to panic. They don't miss you at first. They miss control. They miss certainty. But when the fog clears, they begin to miss you, the real you they took for granted. They always come back, not because they've changed, but because your absence became too loud to ignore. And when that happens, the only thing they can hear anymore is the truth. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence speaks louder than their excuses. You don't owe them words. You don't owe them closure. Sometimes the greatest healing comes not from what you say, but from what you no longer respond to. Number 3, your detachment challenges their ego. At first, they were sure you'd never let go. That's the illusion their ego needed to feel powerful. They didn't think you had the strength to walk away emotionally. Maybe you'd stop texting. Maybe you'd block them. But detach. Really move on inside your soul. They didn't think you were capable of that, because their validation came from knowing they still mattered to you, even in silence. Your attachment made them feel superior. It fed their illusion that they were unforgettable, irreplaceable. But when that illusion cracks, when they realize you're not emotionally dependent anymore, their ego begins to unravel. They expected a reaction, pain, maybe even desperation, but instead you became still, you became calm. You didn't try to prove anything. You didn't beg them to see your worth. That's what hits the hardest. You didn't need to perform your pain. You outgrew it. And the moment they saw your detachment, not as a game, but as truth, they felt something they weren't prepared for: the loss of control. True detachment is not pretending not to care. It's genuinely reclaiming your peace. It's looking at what once hurt you and realizing, I no longer want this energy in my life. That level of stillness is threatening to someone who relied on your chaos. Your silence no longer hides hope. It signals a shift in power, and their ego can't stand it. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." That's what you've done. You've removed your self-worth from their hands. And by doing so, you've won your freedom. They feel it, that calm, radiant energy that no longer needs their recognition. And the more grounded you become, the more unstable they feel. Because when you stop proving your worth, they're forced to confront their own emptiness. When you stop waiting for closure, they're left in the silence of their own unresolved guilt. That's the beauty of detachment. It doesn't punish them, it reveals them. They don't come back because they've had a change of heart. They come back because their ego needs repair. But what they find instead is a version of you they can no longer manipulate. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I release what no longer honors me. This isn't about showing strength, it's about choosing peace. And when peace becomes your standard, everything misaligned begins to fall away. Number 4, your growth becomes their regret. They expected time to weaken you. They thought you'd fall apart without them, that you'd slowly shrink, waiting, wondering, lost in heartbreak. But instead, you grew. You evolved in silence. You healed in shadows. And the person they once dismissed now terrifies them, not because you became someone else, but because you became everything they didn't expect. You took your pain and turned it into power. You stopped needing their validation. You stopped needing answers. And in doing so, you became someone they're no longer qualified to access. Your growth is a mirror they can't look into for long, because it shows them everything they didn't become. While they stayed stagnant, you elevated. While they chased distractions, you built yourself. Every new boundary you created, every standard you raised, every ounce of peace you protected, it all reminded them of what they gave up. And now they're haunted by the version of you that's no longer available to them. People think growth is about glowing up physically, but real growth, it's emotional, spiritual. It's becoming someone who no longer begs for love, who no longer accepts crumbs, who no longer settles for confusion. It's finding home within yourself. And that kind of growth, that's what triggers them. Because now they're the one looking from the outside, realizing the door they slammed shut no longer opens from your side. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You did exactly that. You stopped trying to explain your worth and simply embodied it. You didn't talk about change. You became it. And now they're stuck watching your strength from a distance they created. Here's the part they never saw coming. You didn't move on to make them jealous. You moved on because you finally understood your value. And that kind of transformation can't be undone. It makes them question everything, not just about you, but about themselves. They come back when your life starts reflecting the growth they never expected. But they're not returning to celebrate you. They're returning because your light now exposes their darkness. And what hurts more than losing you is realizing they lost the best